Welcome back to another Purpose Served podcast episode. I'm your host, Darrell Wingfield. Welcome back to everybody that's been listening for this duration, 60 plus episodes. And to anybody that's new to this podcast here, it's about innovating and improving the human experience. What can we possibly do to be the best versions of ourselves every day at any given moment? And this episode is going to be extremely serious compared to all the other ones that I did, um, due to the fact of the time that we're in. It feels like it's very, very important to still keep laying down the groundwork and the foundation of what Purpose Served is and what I'm presenting to you guys and the tools and resources that I'm presenting to you guys to handle the everyday adversity and the everyday shortcomings that life unfortunately presents itself. It comes with it. And here at Purpose Served, it's about really understanding that and really understanding how to maneuver through that and not let life beat you up and have you succumb to whatever circumstances that you're going through, you know. And today is really, really going to be deep dive talking about that. And the only reason why I'm saying that this is important is just that we're running out of time. We don't have as much time as we think. And this is an emphasis that I've been putting on this podcast for a while. Um, it don't matter how old you are. You can be a teenager. You can be, in your early adult years in college, or you can be well off and be a grandparent that's listening to this. No matter what, and no matter what stage you are in your life, you can always find a way to improve yourself and try to improve the world that's around you as well. And there's a reason why I came to start, thinking about this is for one, I'm going to be talking about this later on, but something here at Purpose Served. If you are in the community and possibly are joining the community, I got 6 forums up there, which is like groups that you can join, such as art, education, fitness, community, the environment, and what else that am I leaving off of there? I can't think. So I said community, art, education, the environment, fitness, and wellness. That's the last one. And all in all of these things are pertaining to the same thing. And here is going to be a breakdown of that. But going back to what I said of what led me to this, I reread The Alchemist for like the 15th, 100th time by Paulo Coelho, I think his name is. And when I first originally read this book I know for a fact I mentioned on this podcast hella times, but um, this book was a reading that I had to do, required for my freshman year for the summer. And little did I know the important gems and information that was in there that was told through the story of this kid named Santiago who was following his personal legend. And I reread that book this week. And through that book, it let me know that for me personally, that I'm on the right path with what I'm doing and what I have been doing and everything that I went through to get to this point. It was worth it, you know what I mean? And it couldn't happen any other way, for me to really recognize and understand, which I'm still recognizing and understanding what my personal legend is, and pretty much helping you guys do the same thing. This podcast has been downloaded in 10 different countries. We're talking about Japan, we're talking about Greece, we're talking about Kenya, we're talking about, of course, I love you guys out there in Germany, which I always bring up because you guys are faithful with the downloads. And India, I'm pretty sure I said that, Czech Republic, Russia, Ukraine, even in the midst of what's going on out there right now. But for me, we're all in this together. You guys tune in to listen to me speak, and you guys are also unaware about each other as well. But we're all here. We're all in this vibe right now. You know what I mean? Whatever moment that you're listening to this, you guys all personally care about your growth. You care about being the best version of yourselves, because that's literally the main thing that I talk about on here. So that means that you're either doing something you truly care about, or you're attempting to do something that you truly care about. It's one or the other for the reason that you're here. It's the vibe that's here. You know what I mean? It's strong, and I try to put that vibe out there, you know, and not shy away from that, because people do shy away from that because everything that come with it, the fear, the uncertainty, the the anxiety, the high key depression that comes with going towards something that you truly love. But the ultimate key is to balance that out, and that's why I got things like the purpose served pyramid for the individual personally to practice, maintaining that balance of negative and positive emotions. Because going on, feel your purpose, which is one aspect and one of the sides of the pyramids, one of the four sides is, you know, you don't want to live a life that's absent of negative emotions. You don't want to just go through life and you're just happy all the time, because all in all, in reality, that's not life in itself. And you have these certain emotions so you can respond in ways that you will have to respond to with a certain urgency to them. And people don't like those feelings, but the goal is to limit those as much as possible and not experience them as frequent as people are experiencing them nowadays. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. And with, that one aspect, of emotional well being, understanding how you feel, you know, working on your emotional intelligence, working on when you notice these triggers of when certain things make you feel a certain type of way emotionally. Purpose Served will have the resources for you. And right now, I'm doing, like I always say, a whole lot. I'm right now one man army, but soon I will be putting up on the website, you know, applications for volunteer work and everything, because I truly do need help. To be quite honest, this is something that I can't do alone, and this is a vision that's bigger than myself, and I knew that once I accepted it. And part of my personal legend was me accepting Purpose Served for what it is. And at first, when I did do this, this was literally going to be pertaining to basketball players, and that's it. And talking about basketball players that was in similar situations that I was in, and the shortcomings that I faced to overcome some of the things that, I overcame and still is overcoming. And all in all, it showed me how universal a lot of things are, depending on how you're looking at it. And just because you're in a different field than somebody else, you can still have the same similar problem. And through talking to so many different people, and the people that have been on the podcast and people behind the scenes that I've been working with, in regards to Purpose Served, there's a similar issue at play. And I would want to say the issue is in regards to people feeling like there's not enough resources for them to be who they truly want to be. And I'm gone on the truth, I don't believe that's the case. I really 100% believe is the approach that people take. And you can't explain a lot of these things with logic. You can try to paint the picture with logic, but most likely it's not going to work, And there's something that I wanted to read to you guys. This is from the Mental Health Foundation and the CDC. A positive sense of well-being enables an individual to be able to function in society and meet the demands of everyday life. Well-being generally includes global judgments of life satisfaction and feelings ranging from depression to joy. And your resilience grows when you learn how to handle these triggers and use them to your best benefit. You know what I mean? And there's also a couple of things that I wrote down as well. You know what I mean? In regards to that personal legend, going back to that personal legend. And for those of you that's new to this podcast and or that's been on board, hopped on board a little late, um a personal legend is pretty much um your aspirations, your dreams and desires that you want to do. Like that is what's connecting you to the soul of the universe. And this is pretty much how it was described in a story when an alchemist, when Santiago in the beginning of the story was talking to the king on a bench, and the king pretty much convinced him to go towards following his dreams. And up until that point, there was a gypsy that Santiago went to go talk to in regards to the dream that he had of Egypt, and the dream that his treasure was in Egypt, at the pyramids. He didn't know a lot about the pyramids and where he was at, which was Spain, where the story took place at the start. Um, the gypsy that he went to didn't know about the pyramids as well, but she told him that she she was a dream analysis. When she did analysis, that's the way they put it in the book, and she believed in this kid's dream for some odd reason, and she made him promise him or her that he would give her like I believe it was like 10% of the treasure that he found when he got to Egypt or whenever he found the treasure. And then right after this, he felt as though, of course, like he was getting scammed. And from there on, he went to go to the park bench where he was reading this book, which he traded a couple of sheep for. He was a shepherd. Sorry, the chronological order. I'm butchering it right now, but um, he traded in some books, some sheep for this book, and he went to the bench at this in this plaza to go read. And this is where this king sat and started talking to him, and he didn't really want to talk to this dude, and he was more so focused on the book, pretending he was focusing on the book, so the old man won't bother him. But the old man talked to him anyway and told him how to follow omens and told him how to follow signs and read the universe for what it is. And in account, we all do that. You know what I mean? We do that in our everyday life, looking for signs. And I talked about this a while ago, through guys like Joseph Campbell, and especially another psychiatrist by the name of Carl Jung, with him spending a decent amount of his life studying symbols and how symbols affect the way that we see life and we see the meaning in life through these certain symbols. It's really, really deep stuff. But this king pretty much was telling this kid what a personal legend was, and it was his fate and destiny to go discover it. And when I was reading this, there's a couple of things that was going through my head, especially with my experience and the experience of people that's close to me and what they're going through, and you guys as well that's listening. It's easy to dream a dream. The hardest thing is to realize the dream. And realizing is seeing this thing take shape. You know what I mean? And an overwhelming majority of people literally dream a dream all day, use their imaginations. And the one thing that people don't really take into consideration is that your imagination knows no bounds. You know what I mean? And it could fuel a situation, you mentally, emotionally, to make you really, really not be grounded in reality. And then once you start applying this dream, this personal legend that you have, you start to realize that a lot of things don't match. And your ability, your knowledge, your skills compared to where you're trying to go, it don't match. And there's work that has to be done. Now, people that go through this process, they are the ones that's realizing that dream. You know what I mean? That's what it means to realize the dream, is to put put it into action. You know what I mean? And this is coming from a deeply, deeply spiritual sense. I've been talking about this a lot to people that I've been close with about how we trap our spirits, and our spirits is calling for us to do something great. It's calling for us to like I said in the beginning of this podcast, be the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be. To think that you was born with this seed of life that programmed you from the time of your birth to constantly be changing, to constantly be growing, experiencing new things. You know what I mean? But that soul doesn't change what the eyes see. You know what I mean? If you guys are catching my drift, and um, it's fairly simple to get started, to start realizing your dream and purpose serve. That's what that's what the foundation is, literally. And to me, there's a couple of things that you must know when embarking on your journey, because that's what this is about. Our spirit is going from point A to point B, with the only thing that we can hold on to in this plane of existence is our journey. You know what I mean? Our spirit has that vision, and the destination for us all is death, to be really, really brutally honest. That's all of our end destination. You may think it's going to be, I got to get this certification, I got to get this degree, I got to get this promotion. But all in all, that's not going to matter, because you can't hang on to any of that stuff once you die, and we're all going to die. Sucks the sick. That's why the graveyard is the richest place on this planet, to be quite honest. And you must do, this is something that I mentioned on the last podcast, but you must do what the spirit intention is within your lifetime. And that means don't sit around and just watch. You got to play the game of life. You have to play the game of life. And it's going from a place of, like I said, taking that vision and doing whatever you can throughout the journey and get to that destination. And there's multiple many destinations along the way, but for that final one, the unavoidable, that the inevitable infinite drop off cliff that we all have to go through. But within this time period, what are you doing to make your spirit really come alive and free itself while it's here, while it's in this domain? The craziest thing that I always think about is literally existence itself, that we right here, right now, in this time period. And it literally, logically, doesn't make any sense. I don't care how many scientists try to tackle that problem, but more and more that they try to think about this doesn't make any sense. There's no real logic behind it, but it is intelligence behind it. Somehow, some way, this all, it works. And we have to understand who we are in retrospect to everything that's going on around us. And through understanding that seed of life, that divinity that was planted in all of us, it is our duty to bring that out during the journey. And that's the roadmap. That's the purpose served roadmap, is taking that vision, going on a journey and going to your destination, knowing that you served your purpose. And the way that I do that through that roadmap is something, yet again, that I talked about. Shout out to Reagan. And last year when I did the speaking engagement for the next level event, I talked about how I created a podcast and how anybody can create a podcast or do anything that they put their minds to within 5 steps. And that's the purpose served goal structure. And first, you got to have that destination. And everybody always put that last, even with that roadmap that I've said, it's last. But ultimately, I talked about this. It's just that when you're going towards something that's immediate right now and not that ultimate destination that I was talking about, which is death. But if you want to make your basketball team, or you want to get this promotion, or You know what I mean? It boosts up a better, higher quality relationship between your partner, your family, your friends, anything. Um, that's ultimately what this goal structure is for. And the first place is the destination, knowing what it is that you're setting out to do. Essentially, that's the goal. And second is determining the tools and resources to achieve that goal. And essentially, at Purpose Served, the PS community, the PS pyramid, the coal system, which I'm going to eventually talk about soon enough. These are all the tools, that I'm providing you guys to help you serve your purpose and your community, you know what I mean, to maximize yourself, to maximize the things and the people that surround you in your area. That's the ultimate goal. That's the ultimate vision. And that will literally never, ever change. You know, once my destination hit, you know what I mean, once my expiration date hit. But um, determining the tools and resources, the second part to the goal structure. And then third is determining how long it's going to take. Give yourself a timestamp of when you're going to do it. Because, like I said, we don't have as much time as we think. And people waste countless amount of days, countless amount of hours when they have these windows in their day and they're like to do what they got to do and they just choose to blow it off. They wait till tomorrow. But for some of us, tomorrow might not come. And then what? There is no redos, y'all. There really isn't. Once you're out of here, you're out of here. And fourth is being consistent, which is persistence. You gotta create the behavior behind that destination that you're trying to reach. You have to create that behavior. You have to embody it. You have to bring it to life. Now, this is realizing the dream. This is the process of realizing the dream. But through this, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to get there. And the fifth step is to adjust. So if you don't reach that goal in a timely manner that you set out for, you have to change your approach to get it done. Because oftentimes we don't realize the infinite amount of opportunities and the ways that we can go about doing so many things that we setting out to go for. You know what I mean? Different people that we can contact, the different people that we can work with, is very, very overlooked, man. And going back to step number two and determining the tools and resources instead of going to number one and changing the destination, that ensures that number four, you're being consistent, but you're being consistent in a different way. Instead of just trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, you're trying to find a round piece to make it work. You know what I mean? Or you're trying to find a square hole to make it fit. You know what I'm saying? And that's ultimately the purpose of served goal structure, to help anybody in any walk of life to maximize their potential and actually realize their aspirations instead of dreaming a dream. You know what I mean? And having it stuck up here, because what good does that do you, and what good does that do the people around you? You know? And then going into that the goal structure, the purpose of the goal structure is to have that also be a way to break down, you know, that your personal goal, you know what I mean, and the service that you would like to provide or get better with the skills, really understanding that. And that's why I have the COLE system, which is to be able to recognize how can you take your purpose and apply it into society and apply it to your community through the elements of competition, organization, I believe it's learning and expression. And for the purpose served pyramid and the COLE system, the common denominator between them both is expression. With the four well-beings that I talked about, that's the main focus for purpose served earlier. It's social well-being, your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, and um, emotional, social, mental, and emotional. No, I'll be blacking out, man. This is kind of crazy. Emotional, um, emotional, social, mental, and economic and financial well-being. And through that, I have Feel Your Purpose, which is for your emotional well-being, Improve Your Purpose, which is for your mental well-being, Manage Your Purpose, which is for your economic well-being, and Express Your Purpose, which is for your social well-being. And through these four, I plan on working with businesses and services and experts that deliver you guys the best service to work on these things personally, and taking that core system of what I just said through the elements of competition, organization, learning, and expression. Through those forums, you can take these things from the purpose served pyramid and add a skill set to yourself that's going to provide you with, employment opportunities and educational opportunities. As I talked about in the previous podcast, that's the goal here at Purpose Served, and not just having somebody just, living a kid like dream. And it's understanding that you also have responsibilities that come with these gifts, that come with these skill sets that, that you apply, that you deserve, that you put the work in. You need to know how to properly use it. And through these elements and through these resources that Purpose Served have and will provide, it will help you live a more meaningful life and build more meaningful connections with people in your life, because there's not a lot of that in the United States. I talked about this on a previous podcast episode. We living in a country where at least 5 million people say they don't trust nobody. They can't trust each other. Imagine living next to people that don't trust you. Imagine working with people that don't trust you. Imagine your own family not trusting you. This is the world that we are growing to live in. That's sad, man. And it doesn't have to be that way. And people feel as though, well, it is what it is. Problem-based mindsets, and that's, for me, been top-notch. I'm not even going to lie, pissing me off. That everybody has a problem, but nobody has solutions for these problems, but this is where I come into play, and it's just like, you know what I mean, do something about it. Then Daryl, don't be that guy doing the same thing and being a hypocrite. But that's why I'm doing everything that I possibly can to do that for you guys. And what's in it for you guys, connecting with others that's on the same similar journey, having the tools and resources to be the best version of yourself that you won't get anywhere else. You're not going to get it anywhere else. And being authentic and true to your dreams and aspirations, and being able to truly nurture that. That's what's going on here right now. And for the people that's literally involved in this process, and y'all tuning in and listening, come on, man. It's me doing a dolphin clap. But it means everything to me. Before, it was cringe to think that I was sitting here feeling as though I was talking to myself. Didn't know that the ripple that was going on. And you guys are a part of that for me, just like I'm a part of that for you. And that's why I'm telling y'all, your life is of significance. And not only to me, but your family and the people that surround you. And we got the same vibe. If you hear listening to the Purpose Served podcast, you're inspired. You're looking for inspiration. You're trying to find that motivation. You found it. Came to the right place. The GOAT speaks again. I'm about to drop the mic. Listen, man, serving is an action, and treat the purpose like the goal, man. That's what we doing here. Become a Purpose Served member today. I'm going to put the link in the description below. Stay tuned for more content that's on the way. Stay tuned for the Purpose Served pyramid that's going to be added to the Purpose Served website. Stay tuned to the code system that's going to be added to the Purpose Served website. And them purposes, them forms, all of that. I'm going to keep adding to it. We're going to keep building. We're going to keep growing together. This is only the beginning. We gonna all make it to the destination together on one accord. Being the best version of ourselves we possibly can. That's the vibe, man. Come on, man. Talk to me nice, man. But I'm out. I love every last one of y'all. Please download the podcast, man. Keep showing love. Keep showing support. I love every last one of y'all, man. For real. I'm out. Last but not least.